Hello everyone, this is Andrea. And if you're interested in studying abroad or doing a short period exchange program, then this is the video you need to see. But basically, the subject would be what I learned from studying abroad and the things that made me who I am today and that I can honestly say made me a better person. So just to do a little bit of background on my exchanges, when I was 15 years old, I was just gonna start high school, but I was very bored with my routine, home, school, dancing classes, swimming classes, home, and every day, the same thing. And I was over of it, and I realized all the girls in my high school or school, they were just normal. I mean, they were just like everyone else, and I was like, no, tell me this is not gonna be me. Just spending tons of money on clothing or short vacation when I can spend that money at traveling. I mean, there is nothing wrong of spending your money any way you want it, but in my terms, I wanted to do something else. So one day I came up to my mom and I told her I need to go somewhere far away that I don't know anyone, that I can do whatever it is that I want. And yeah, we went to talk to this agency called EF, which I love. I suggest you look up that, and then so everything started from there. There was a family in the U.S. from Montana that wanted me to be their new um, family member for a year. So yeah, there I was off to Montana. And by the time I didn't speak any English, I couldn't understand a word or anything. And everybody would have thought I was gonna be nervous about it, but I really wasn't. I mean, my head didn't really realize that I was going to the unknown by myself at 15. And so there I was in the airport, and there were my family up there, and they were like, "Hey, you're Andrea," and I'm like, "Yes," but seriously, they were started talking to me, and I was like, "Hmm, hmm, hmm, hmm." I didn't understand a word they say. It was so frustrating. I felt um how can how can I say this? I mean, like I didn't have any control under anything because they were they kept talking and talking to me, and I didn't understand anything. So when we got home, I went straight to my room, lay on my bed, and I was like, "What did I just do? What am I doing here? I don't belong here." I mean, the first night I think I could say was kind of. I don't think I could relate anything to it. Like I never felt something like that before. So next morning I was gonna go to school. So there I was, off to high school, to American high school where people spoke English and not Spanish because I was in freaking Montana. Nobody speaks Spanish in Montana. Maybe in California, Texas, whatever, Miami, but not in Montana. So my first day was actually okay. Everybody was extremely nice to me. But to me, it was like being 13. No, no, no. What 13? What am I talking about? No. It was like being 3 years old again. Like all over again. I couldn't read anything. I didn't understand anything. I got lost. I didn't understand the things were. I didn't understand the way people did things. And I had so many questions that I could not ask because I didn't know how to communicate. So that's where all my hand communication began. Like, and I'm hungry, or I'm sick, or I'm gonna cry, and I don't know. Who knows what else I learned of communication without actually speaking to people. But The year went past by so fast, and I loved it. It was probably the best experience of that year. It changed my life completely. I made a friends. They are gonna be for lifetime. There is no doubt about it. I learned so much about me. I mean, I didn't know anything, and the months passed by, and I understood everyone, and I had so many good friends, and the teachers were really good, very comprehensive. But I remember one thing that I'm never gonna forget. One of my teachers was like, I don't understand how she does it. I mean, I ask her something, or I want to know her opinion on something, and the only thing she does is this. But she doesn't say a word, but she just smiles and she gets away with it with every single teacher. How? I don't know. And I was laughing so hard when I knew what he was saying, but I mean I didn't know. So then, to me, in that year, there was nothing such as stereotypes. I hang out with everyone. Everyone was great to me, and so what would mm, I don't know. If I would have stayed in high school in Mexico, then I would be surrounded by the stereotypes, like like that emo girl or that scene girl, that punk, because that's how the society here is. But in 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 my school there, I didn't have enough time or really care about thinking about it because everything was happening so fast, and I everything I care about was having a great time. And every single person, no matter of how they dressed or how they talked or how they thought about things, they were all nice to me, and that was enough proof for me that they deserve anything like the same attention from me than to anyone else. And that's where my first lesson came in. No judgment. I didn't know them enough to be mean to them. I mean, they were so nice to me. And so, if they treat me nice, then I should treat them nice. I mean, it's logic. It should be logic to everyone else, but it isn't. So that was one. And it was kind of hard to adapt to a different culture and, of course, a different weather. There is no snow where I'm from, and it was in Montana, home. Tons of snow. Yeah, but I learned to adapt very easily because of that. Actually, um, I I became very neutral about things. I didn't judge anyone. I mean, maybe he was Muslim, maybe she was Christian or whatever, and to me they were all the same. That was that, and then by the end of the year, yeah, I was devastated. I cried like crazy. I didn't want to go back home. That was my life now. I wanted to stay, but of course it was impossible. So I came back home, and my mom was like, there's any opportunity you could go to Canada. I'm like, well, if I cannot go back to Montana, then I might as well go to another country instead of staying here so I can keep learning. So there I was, off to Canada, which actually became 2 years instead of one. It was great. It got so much better. First, I knew English. I could talk to people. I could ask them anything I wanted. And to me, it was easier because what I learned from Montana is that nobody knows me. Nobody knows what I did. Nobody knows who I was when they met me. So it was like a great start. Like you're reborn again. You get this new opportunity of being the best you can be to yourself. Your best version of you. So Canada was great. I actually liked it a lot. I mean, I did the rest of my high school there. I love it. I mean, I wanted to stay there too. Yeah, just a few times. And so in that first year there, I made a goal that I wanted to graduate in Canada, just like any Canadian kid would, and I did. And that gave me so much confidence after all, because it was like my first accomplishment, I think, after. learning English and living by myself in a foreign country. But I learned so much. Like, first of all, you know how in teenage years, girls are crazy about boys and they will do anything to them and, just to be accepted. And that wasn't me. Of course, my host mother from Canada will tell you I was boy crazy, but not in the way people think. I mean, I would come from high school and I will go to her and I'll be like, I did this, I did that, this boy is very cute, I met this guy, but that's it. That's it. But to those extremes, like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you something that I think. I don't know if I should, but it was like something weird. There was a party going on, and they called it Project X. How original in 2012, because that's where I graduated. And so we went to a party, and this dude sent his friend to me, and he sends his friend to me with his phone, and he had a message greeting and in Spanish. You can imagine what he was asking me. He was totally drunk. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. Sorry. And he was like, you know who he is, right? He's, um, and I'm like, I don't care if he's the king of Denmark or, or if he owns the whole country. It doesn't matter to me. And so he goes back to his friend and, wait.